We're back with another podcast, and it's our first of the year, and we figured we can't quite talk about the teams just yet, but we can certainly talk about the players. We're going to go over our top 25 players in the league. This is the first time we're ever doing this, which is actually a bit surprising, because this is just fun to do. We banter about this anyways, so let's make official lists. Every single one of you, except for me, have made your own top 25 list. Coward. That's cool. That's all right. And this is how it's going to go down. You're going to do it in sections. So I'm going to ask at first for you guys to reveal your 25 to 16, so the first 10 people on your list, and we'll go 15 to 11, then 10 to 6, and obviously finally 5 all the way to your number 1 spot. Yeah,
you had Connor McDavid as 25?
Sorry.
Wow.
This guy forgot how to do a show.
I'm so aged up right now.
So, we have your lists. Top 25 players. Man, you guys were really nervous about this list, but the lists are now locked in. Some of you were changing your stuff up. Very last second.
I tweaked. Weirdly enough, I'm not nervous at all about like the top 20. It's the 5 below that where I'm like,
the top 20? How about like anything below 10?
You're trying to cram so many people into that last 5.
Yeah, see, he gets there.
Yeah, of course. It's so hard because like even some of your favorite all-time players are like, I just don't know if they cracked that top.
Wow.
That last 5.
Ovi didn't make it. Anyway, we'll see.
Wow.
Who made it? This is gonna be a lot of fun, gentlemen. Here it is. 25 to 16. Luca, we'll start with you. And guys, if you could save your reactions, I just want straight names. I don't want to hear any reasoning from any of you. Say your names, and then we go from there.
25, Eric Carlson. 24, Charlie McAvoy. 23, Elias Pettersson. 22, Braden Point. 21, Tage Thompson. 20, Jack Hughes. 19, Kirill the Thrill. 18, Darlene. 17, Hedman. And 16, Jason Robertson.
No reaction to that? I need to react.
You can.
Yeah. Okay. 25, Tim Stützle.
So tempted with him.
24, Jacob Slavin. 23, Rasmus Dahlin. 22, Sidney Crosby. 21, Tage Thompson. 20, Shesterkin. 19, Sorokin. 18, Aho. 17, Point. 16, Heiskanen.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
Goodness, I want to react.
I'm about to absolutely blow our world.
The second he says his last name, you can react to whatever you want.
Jesse, shock the world.
Let's just get it going, boys. Connor Bedard.
Oh!
Okay.
Look, he would.
No,
Say the name.
All right, fine.
Say the name.
24, Eric Carlson. 23, Jack Eichel. 22, Roman Josi. 21, Adam Fox. 20, Tage Thompson. 19, Kirill the Thrill. 18, the Breadman. 17, Barkov. 16, Jack Hughes.
Have at it.
I don't know where to start. Do we have to start with Bedard?
Some similar names in there.
Like I think the
Bedard.
most shocking one for me from you was Pettersson. Pettersson at 23, I thought was
Okay.
low.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
low.
You have him higher. I kind of just want to see it one more year from Pettersson. He had his first 100-point season, but before that, it's been a lot of under 80-point seasons. So I believe in him as a player, and I think that when we do this again, like guys that I'm like, okay, I can see them going higher if we do this next year.
Even Jason Robertson.
Yeah.
The Robertson thing is, I think, because goalies for me, I had a little higher.
Okay.
So that bumped everyone down a little bit.
Miss me with tendies.
Yeah.
On this list.
There's 2. You mentioned both of them. I
Yeah,
have
he
them
had
both
2 in
on
there.
my list.
You didn't have one in that bottom there.
I'm
did you?
just gonna go ahead and say
You have no
spoiler,
goalies?
I had goalies, took them out.
So
Okay.
I think that's
Kind
wild.
of funner though. I get
It
it.
is. It is
way more
fun.
fun.
I was
Because imagine Bedard doesn't make the list.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, all these goalies are like not that far off of each other in skill. All the top goalies, in my opinion, and like I'd rather just throw players.
So I don't know about that. When we get to my goalies, I can make the argument for it.
May just only because I think the goalie thing we're gonna go right past after this point. If the goalie position doesn't work for you, that can sewer your whole season. Don't you guys really consider that though? You really do genuinely think they're so even? You had 2, so I mean I can't say anything to you.
But I just think those are the only 2 that are like I think clearly better than the competition.
You had 2, so it was
was
more
tough
to the
for-
guy who's got none.
It was tough for me to not stick Bucky on this list, but I was like, you know what? If I'm not sticking Hellebuyck on the list, no goalies.
But did you have a goalie in there and you just took him out?
I did have a couple goalies, and then I thought
it was
about
those
and I
2,
was
I'm
like,
Don't name them. Don't tell them. This is top 25.
Also, fellas, I could be the only person to have put this guy down. Maybe you guys have him higher, but I kind of struggled with this one. But I just feel like based off of his playoff performance last year, I just wanted to stick Eichel in.
Yeah.
In the playoffs against the Jets last year, and I'm just watching him play. I'm like, man, this guy's so good.
Man, two of the
He's
guys,
so good.
two of the guys that were my biggest ones that I was like, how can I not put these guys in? Was him and Mark Stone.
The one guy I really wanted to put in the U at 25 was Stützle because I think he is just going to have an unreal season. And
But you don't think he's top 25?
Well, the only reason
You think he's worse than all these guys?
I wanted Carlson in just because of what he did last year.
The guy that
I
doesn't
agree.
play a lick of defense.
I know, and that's like the biggest fault
But
against him. But
offensively,
if
he's
he
incredible.
produces at that level,
What do you
yeah.
have, 102 points, 103 points?
At the Leafs media day, you kept joking. We're like, enjoy that on the power play because someone said they wanted to play the Pens. It was like-
Yeah.
I think it was Wall.
I think it was Wall, yeah. Shout out for Leafs Media Day. You guys may have other ones, because so Luca went to Sens Media Day, you went to Jets Media Day, we were at Leafs Media Day. All the players were great, but Joseph Wall was a guy I'd never met before.
Really cool guy.
So
Very nice,
funny,
yeah.
so nice. Like, I was like, wow, you could really step into those Jack Campbell shoes of just being like such a good guy.
Also, Austin Matthews likes a joke or two.
I love Matthews.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Also, not much for that guy to be upset about. Makes a ton of money.
So-
absolute god in Toronto.
He's also very chill, though. He is very chill.
No, he's nice. But
Anyway,
he should-
Bedard.
Wait.
Before Bedard? Okay.
Adam Fox at 21.
That's pretty low.
That's
That
the
is pretty
biggest
low.
surprise for me, for
Yeah.
sure.
Look, I'm very into Adam Fox. Trust me.
Apparently not.
I don't know
that
if you're
into
that
it.
into
I'm
him.
very-
Not a
Isn't it
top
a-
20 player.
This is an elite list, by the way. For anyone who gets snubbed or whatever, it's
Yeah.
like if you're a top 25 in any league,
Jesse
it's an
thinks
elite
this
list.
guy's trash.
Man, also one thing, and like I kind of struggled with this too. Like I really wanted to stick Darlene on my list, but I just like there were too many good forwards for me to stick him on the list.
Going back to that, you had Darlene high.
Yeah.
And man, that's why like for me, Fox at 21, I'm like, okay, I guess maybe I just like value really good forwards. Man, Fox is very good. I love him, but like he doesn't thread the needle for me quite like some of the players I have higher on my list.
Luke is definitely trying to lock Darlene for 8. But you, on Bedard, like,
Look.
you're the one guy to put him in there, which is like respect, but explain.
Look, first of all, if Connor Bedard saw me say this, he'd be like, this guy
Please
needs to
don't
shut
do
up.
this.
Because he's literally the most humble guy ever. And I kind of discussed this with a couple of my friends. And like, look, where do players stand right now? How do I think they're going to be this year? I think Bedard is going to score 40 goals this year and just immediately put the world on notice. I think he's that good already. I just think he right away is going to fit into like that elite group of NHL players.
It's pretty damn bold to put him in there, but I'm happy you
And
did.
I wanna make it-
yeah,
I wanna spice it up a little bit.
It's
Come
It's
on.
bold and I like
Let's
it.
get
but
excited.
We'll see if it happens.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think Connor Bedard fights someone this year.
It could happen.
What has
even-
made you come to this prediction?
I think he's underrated feisty. He gets really
Yeah.
fired up in games. He lays the body a bit.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch like the CHL top prospect game, like the highlights from that, like he was like going at people, and that's like a thing. And he was like had a bunch of scrums after the whistle and stuff. I'd imagine like Corey Perry's gonna beat the piss out of somebody after they try to fight him, but like
But you think he
Also,
fights someone?
yeah, I've
Why?
said in the past, I think Connor Bedard, low key, is very funny too. Man, he's so instantly going to be like he's such a likable guy. He's so likable.
wow,
Yeah.
the
Well-
glazing is crazy. Right?
Yeah, no, I'm aged up for Connor Bedard.
All right, let's move on to the next set. Okay, so we're going for the next 5. It's your 15 to your 11. Jesse, we'll start with you this time.
Wow.
All
snake
right,
draft.
number 15, Victor Hedman.
He looked over.
Yeah, you have a problem with that?
Kind of.
Hey,
We'll discuss. We'll discuss.
We will discuss.
We'll discuss. Into discuss.
Very into
very into the discussion.
There's nothing more that I like than discussing. Yeah. Number 14, Mitch Marner. Number 13, Braden Point. Number 12, Mikko Rantanen.
Rantanen.
Number 11, Elias Pettersson.
That's a huge discrepancy between you two. Okay, next one.
Number 15, Mikko Rantanen. Number 14, Mitch Marner. Number 13, Kirill the Thrill. Number 12, Nikita Kucherov. Number 11, Jack Hughes.
15, Heiskanen. 14, Mikko Rantanen. 13, Mitch Marner. 12, Sidney Crosby. 11, Igor Shesterkin.
We all had Mitch Marner and Rantanen in this bunch, didn't we?
Yeah.
Crazy. So they're just like a locked in 11 to 15 ranking.
Yeah.
You darted your eyes at Luca right away when you said Hedman, so you guys might as well engage on that.
I just feel like Victor-
Better than Adam Fox.
Yeah.
Better than. Do you have
I think
Heiskanen?
like who would I want in a playoff series when it matters most to log me all those big minutes? I'll take Hedman over Fox 11 out of 10 times.
I would have said,
And
like,
he's so big, so rangy. Like, this guy's just a few years removed from winning the Conn Smythe. Behind one other defenseman, he's still like the guy for me.
People are
Wow, little spoiler there. He's only got one other defenseman. At his peak, he is incredible, especially because like his size. Like the size is the main thing.
But I think like if I'm picking like at Fox's peak and at Hedman's peak right now, I'm going with Fox every time. I think.
Well, yeah, like,
I'd even go Heiskanen,
Hedman wasn't on your list at all.
Hedman wasn't even on my list.
which I wouldn't argue with.
The disrespect is all I'm saying.
I don't know if it's disrespect.
disrespect.
Like, he was
This guy's amazing.
he was
Still
consistently
amazing.
top
Obviously,
5
still
in
amazing.
Norris votes, and then this year he kind of took a step back this year, and like it was a significant step back, I would say.
I'm gonna have to see like more steps back, like another season of Hedman really stepping back before I'm prepared to like really dock him a ton.
I'm just surprised that Fox is so low compared to.
Oh yeah, he's not that much lower. He's the next defenseman on my list. So it's Carlson, Yossi, Fox, Hedman.
Do you have
Just basically
Heiskanen?
saying I did not put Heiskanen.
Okay, so that's wild.
On the whole list.
I struggled with
I
it.
thought you were a big Heiskanen
I'm
guy.
a massive.
He's
Heiskanen
so
guy.
good.
Apparently
Absolute
not.
warrior.
I'm a
too.
massive Heiskanen guy.
Apparently not.
I felt a little awkward omitting him.
I believe you, if I'm not mistaken, had Kaprizov the highest.
Yes.
And Hughes.
And Hughes.
Yeah.
So when we start with Kaprizov, and then your pick for Hughes being that high up. Kaprizov, why do you think they should have had him higher then?
I think he's a guy that can do it on his own. He's a guy that can carry a line. He's a guy that's put up over 100 points in a season. He's a franchise player. That's kind of the territory we're getting into now. Like I think just past that kind of like Mikko Rantanen and Mitch Marner, if you have an NHL team and those two guys are your best players, you got to be built like a Carolina where you just have like a really deep squad. Whereas like Kaprizov's a guy that can, again, you look at that squad and you're like, yeah, they've good players, but he's their offensive talent. And I don't see a ton of other guys above Kaprizov in that.
And then your Hughes pick, naturally, you're just
I've
putting
always-
him ahead.
I
You're
love
a
Jack
huge
you've been a
fan.
huge
I love
guy.
Jack Hughes, yeah.
I'd push back on Mikko not being one of those guys. Just because this year, and I know McKinnon had 100 points this year, but he did miss a lot of time, and like Mikko was just consistent this year. First 50-goal season, first 100-point season. I think he's only going to get better, which is crazy. Like his size, his skill. I had Marner the highest out of all you guys too, which I feel like I've always just been. He's always
Yeah,
been
you've
my guy.
that's
What'd
also
you have
been your
him at?
MO.
13.
Oh, we had to have him 14.
Yeah, no, I know. But like, I had him ahead
Negligible.
of Kaprizov and Hughes.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I know some people probably will look at that and think it's
had
crazy.
I had the same thing. I had Marner ahead of Kaprizov and Hughes. Another thing, where did you guys have Point?
I had him pretty low.
I had him like 18.
I had him 22.
See, that's low to me. I think Braden Point is like maybe one of the most underrated players in the league. Like he quietly had 51 goals last season.
crazy.
And this guy, like when it matters most, like he's such a beast in the playoffs all the time. Such a spark plug. I can't believe he's getting paid what, like less than $9 million. Like
Yeah.
So my question for you, Jesse, because I've said Crosby. I said Crosby at 12 for me. I'm assuming Jesse has him higher because Jesse loves Sid the Kid.
Well, we'll have to wait then.
I had him at 23 or something.
I had him at 12, which is probably a little nuts.
22.
I know he had 93 points, which is actually like the second highest point total he's had in like the last handful of years. So there's no reason that he can't get to 100. But I think he's probably, if you're projecting out where this might be, he'll probably fall on my list for sure. And I'd take the argument of like Kaprizov is better than Crosby right now.
Can I reveal a last second change I made to my list?
Did you have him off?
Is
He was not on my list.
Okay.
And then last second,
You,
I
you changed your
swapped-
ways.
that is absolute madness to me. That's madness
Well,
to me.
so I kind of
I'm ready to, yeah.
But I agreed with you because the
These are
crazy
shoot
thing
off
was,
glasses.
so
by the way.
good.
Whenever he wears
Yeah,
these, he's about to shoot off.
whenever he takes them off.
I need to get a little serious here for a second.
So, but I agree because I was looking at it. I'll tell you the name. I had Jared McCann at 23 on the list, and I was
Instead
like,
of Sydney, come on.
no, but okay, Jared McCann's very underrated. Think about
Yeah,
that.
no, but it's who you said.
We got to keep going here so we can talk about Crosby again.
Sure. We're moving on to our next set. We are now entering the top 10 territory. It's your 10-6. Luca, go for it.
All right, 10, Nikita Kucherov. 9, Sorokin. 8, David Pasternak. 7, Adam Fox. 6, Matthew Tkachuk.
Chuck does not make Luca's top 5. Corwin.
Pedersen, top 10. Fox, Pasternak, Robertson, Draisaitl.
Ooh.
Wow, Drice, okay.
Interesting.
Number 10, I got J-Rob. I also am a massive J-Rob fan.
No, you're not. I had him
I
higher.
am. Number 9, Sidney Crosby. Number 8, Nikita Kucherov. Number 7, David Pasternak. Number 6, Matthew Tkachuk. I gotta say, I think Sorokin is a little high on the list.
I
You
gotta
had him
say,
at 10?
Yeah, 9.
I had him at 9.
I gotta
I
say-
think he's the best goalie in hockey, and like, so the goalie conversation for me was as simple as I think there are two guys that can carry a team in net, and I think it's him and Shesterkin.
I would align.
How can you say
10's
that
a little.
Connor
Top 10's a little.
Hellebuck has carried the Jets before. And like, I just think that saying that Sorokin is like so much better than Hellebuck to me just like doesn't make a lot of sense.
His numbers have been unbelievable
so
to
has
start his
Hellebuck's.
career.
Maybe not as much last year.
Okay, but this is top 25 players right now. Hellebuck's not making my list right now because he's not as good as Sorokin.
I gotta say something right now.
Say it.
To both of you. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, are you,
Oh,
You got
Kucherov.
2 Kucherovs in your top 10.
yeah.
You don't-
Hell yeah.
Right, where'd you have him?
I had him at like 11 or something.
He had an 118-point season
Embrace
last year.
debate.
Are you kidding?
Malkin and Crosby have more.
I just
playoff
wanted to
points
say,
than
are you
him.
kidding me? I just want to say, are you kidding? Kucherov's amazing.
Sorokin definitely, like, I know you guys goalies, whatever, but like they are important, and I think these guys are the two best goalies.
I'm more shocked how much you separated him from Shesterkin.
Man,
two
Sorokin
spots.
statistically was not that much better than Hellebuck last year. I just think that like putting Sorokin in a class like that, where he's marginally better than other goalies, in my opinion, it's just a little high.
You had no goalies on your list.
Yeah, because they're all like kind of the same.
No, that's wrong. I don't
disrespectful.
think.
I love that.
You don't though, because you had 2.
Yeah, you had
So you
two on your
don't love it.
list.
So you can high five all you want, but
No, I still
they matter.
I love them. Like I love the sentiment, and honestly, maybe I was a bit of a coward for putting them on my list.
Then
They shouldn't
what
be
you're
there.
high fiving then if you're saying you're a coward. So and you had was it just you had Draisaitl out of your top 5?
Yeah, you had Draisaitl.
And because he's had, if I'm not mistaken, the most goals in the last like 5 years, and
Yeah, how many
he gets
people-
overshadowed. But like, why is he not in your top 5 then?
Well, like how many people you go top 10 players of all time and they say Yari Curry, you know?
Explain why you have him there, smart ass.
No, genuinely, I just think I think he's an incredible player. Like I still have him at 6th best player in the league, but I don't think he puts up the same point totals that you see him putting up every year without McDavid and that insane power plays. It's not necessarily that I think he's bad. I just think there are some guys better than him.
He's Draisaitl's the one guy I feel like I struggled the most deciding where to put him on my list.
The other thing for him is like he's an incredible passer. He's a big body. He's got a great one-timer, but I just think he's a little less dynamic than some of the other guys I have in the top 5.
So you guys both feel like
understand
Fox is a
that.
top 10 player in the league?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, I had him, what am I at?
I don't know
I had
about
him at 9.
easily.
I had him at 7.
I just consider him the 2nd best defenseman in the league.
Yeah, people probably would
Especially-
be surprised to know that he's had 2 straight 70-plus point seasons. Like
And he's
that's
so well-rounded.
yeah,
Like,
and he's a right-handed shot, which is also like super valuable. I don't know. I think he's incredible.
Have either of you guys put Yossi on your list? Like Yossi 2 years ago had like 100 points.
Is Yossi
He's-
Yossi is
Yossi's
absent
not
from
on
both?
my list.
he is absolutely.
Yossi's
He was
incredible.
It was
I don't
basically
think
between
he's-
him and Slavin for me.
How is Yossi not like that good? Like I don't get it.
I don't think he's not that
We
good.
had a
He's
down
only
year.
had one 70-plus point season in his career. That was the only one. Offensively, he's outstanding. If you're going to take that offensive defenseman, though, I went Carlson because Carlson has won Norris's. He has just been that point producer and that like big number point producer for a long time. So if I'm going to slip like a Yossi at 25, like I'm just not into that.
Also, wait, we didn't discuss Sidney Crosby.
He's an incredible player, but like he's older. He's 36 years old. I thought he had a great year last year. He's still in my top 25. It's fine. I don't think he's a top 10 player anymore.
And Ovi confirmed not on any of your lists because he's definitely not going to be in top 5.
This was my note about Crosby.
Oh yeah, by the way, he sent his notes along. And I've been reading them. They've been fun to read.
Jesse has hilarious.
He is the best notes. They're very fun.
These are my notes about Crosby. Sid is aging like a fine wine. Feel a little weird about this one because my girlfriend has a crush on him and I wouldn't trust them together in the same room. But gotta respect the guy.
They have the same. They have the same
a couple
name.
Sid the kid.
Yeah, they have the same name.
I'm kidding. I completely trust
Hooking
my
up.
girlfriend. I'm just joking. She just has a massive crush on Sidney Crosby.
Don't we all?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, he's a complete hunk. And I just think that like Crosby's also. I mean, there are lots of players who make the players around them better, but like he really escalates the play of his line mates based on the kind of player he is. I love the way he plays the game. I think he's still top 10. Like I have a tough time saying that some of these other guys. Like I have a tough time saying that like Mitch Marner is better than Sidney Crosby. I love Mitch Marner. I'm a huge Marner guy too. I know it's like talking about right now when I get like Crosby hasn't been in the playoffs for a while either, but like I just want to see Sid back in the playoffs and like doing a little damage because it's just such a shame. He's so dominant in the playoffs when those teams are good.
So you guys had J-Rob quite a bit lower than me.
I'm at 10.
I had him at 16. The reason I had him at 16, so I valued defenseman a little more, which is why I had Heiskanen ahead of him, because I think he's just a cornerstone defenseman. But then the Marner one, I think, is just going to be, like, people are just going to
You have
rip me
Marner
for-
over Robertson?
I do.
Why?
Marner is
No, I
just...
know.
Like,
I just love how
I just think
quickly
like
you
a
said it out
complete
there.
hockey player, like Marner's unbelievable. And I know that Robertson has the goal scoring, so like that should put him higher theoretically.
Don't say anymore. Send your list to Dallas.
Yeah.
We'll make the trade.
Your top 5. Let's get this started.
All right. 5, Leon Draisaitl. 4, Austin Matthews. 3,
Ooh.
Cale Makar. 2, Connor Nathan McKinnon. 1, Connor McDavid.
All right, you're 5.
Hey, mine is number 5, Cale Makar. Number 4, Matthew Tkachuk. Number 3, Nathan McKinnon. Number 2, Austin Matthews.
There he is.
And number 1,
Give me a break.
Connor Bedard.
He did it!
No. Big David.
This guy gets it. Does he?
At number 5, I'm going with Austin Matthews.
Boo.
At number 4, I'm going with Leon Draisaitl, which I believe is the highest so far that Draisaitl has been on the list.
Respect.
At number 3, I've got Cale Makar. At number 2, I have Nathan McKinnon. And at number 1, I've got that Connor McJesus guy.
Yeah, it's funny because we're going to spend the least amount of time on him because we get it. He's amazing.
Yeah,
he's the
best
best
player in the
player.
league. Like,
Best player
he's
in
like
the
our
world.
modern, like
Yeah.
he's the modern day Gretzky.
It's so
a
fun to
freak to
watch.
watch.
Electric.
Yeah.
So Austin Matthews, let's have at it. You had him the highest at number 2, and
Yeah.
you had him the lowest.
So I get why
I just first of all, I actually think both of you put Leon a little low.
One spot lower than you.
It's an absolute, yeah, but like when you're talking about that top 5, like one spot means a lot.
So basically,
I don't
what
think
you mean-
Draisaitl should be behind Matthews. I feel like I would rather have Draisaitl on my team.
That's crazy to me. I understand why you guys did it. He had a down year last year, but he played through injury. I think he's the most complete player in the game, especially when he's playing at his best. I would agree. I don't think he had his best last year. I would say
scored 40
if this list was ranking players last season, I wouldn't have him this high. But because we're ranking players for this upcoming season, he's the second best player.
I also just noticed, and it's going to come up again real quick. I think you're the one guy who didn't have Barkov on your entire list.
I didn't either.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Miss me with that most
All right, don't
underrated
worry,
player
don't
in
worry.
hockey every year. Like he's
It
good.
was,
but
it
like,
was nuts.
legitimately,
Like, it was
every
genuinely,
year he's
like, 7
underrated.
straight
How's that
years.
possible?
Yeah, but you also have to take like
He's
defense
great.
into
I
account.
like Barkov.
He's
I don't
solid.
know.
It's like he's one of the best defensive players in the game. I don't think you can just disregard that.
So
wait.
all
I
of
want
you
to
had-
talk Matthews a little bit.
Oh, you do? Okay. go
Because
ahead.
we both had him higher than you did. But I think the reason I do as well, not only being a complete player, like, yeah, everyone says he has down year. He scored 40 goals last year still. Injured, if we want to say injured. Since he entered the league, no one scored more, and only Pavel Bure has a better goals per game than him in the last 25 seasons.
Is Draisaitl that far behind Matthews in goals?
He's not in goals. In the last 5 uses more.
50
He's
goals.
more in the last 5, but since
50
Matthews entered the
goals,
league.
43 and 71, 31 and 56, 55 and 80, 52 and 80. Like Leon Draisaitl is marginally a worse goal scorer, if even. He also gets way more points than him. He's an
is a
incredible
horse.
passer. I get at this point, like with in the top 5, it's kind of like tomato. You can kind of like put one person over the next, and I understand why you guys did Matthews. I feel like at the very least, Draisaitl has to be in the top 5.
But I
Look
think
at his
so. Like,
point
but
totals.
the guys that you're not including in the top 5 is Matthew Tkachuk. I would guess over the last 2-3 years, he's probably top 3. Not only all that, but you talk a lot about playoff performance. Has there been a bigger horse?
Draisaitl 2 years
goals in,
ago.
like, 13 games
Draisaitl
this
2
past
years ago,
year.
like hurt with his ankle injury. He was dominant.
Yeah.
In
playoffs.
12 games played
I'm
this year,
still on your
13
side.
goals and 5 assists.
On top of
I
like
still-
just
he's
how incredible he is
amazing.
as a goal scorer, it is the playoff performance like Draisaitl. I thought maybe you guys would have him higher because I would.
Do the Oilers have like a Bobrovsky who just gets hot at the right time? Like the Oilers have miss me with the Oilers crease.
But they
Miss me
they
with that.
also
To be fair,
I think-
that's
I
totally
think-
on them too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if we're gonna go by like teams that they've faced and just run up points against, like that Kings team that they just dominated the past 2 years.
I think
Because
the Kings are pretty.
Yeah, they're
no, but
decent.
like goaltending
people-
wise, they're not facing the best goaltenders in the league either.
I don't know. I'm not going to agree with that. But my main thing with Tkachuk is just as unfair as it may be.
He's going intangibles.
No, it's not that. Obviously, I do think Matthew Tkachuk is a great player for that, in that he's like one of the grittiest. I love rats. He's one of the biggest ones out there. I just think whenever you look at Draisaitl's point totals, that can't happen without McDavid. And I think Tkachuk has done it on 2 different teams, 100-point seasons on 2 different teams with different players. A lot of people thought he was going to take a massive step back when he left the side of Johnny Gaudreau, and he didn't. He kept it going, and he carried his team to the Stanley Cup final.
That seems like great ammo to pump Kachuk's tires, but I always personally, not against you, but like saying that he couldn't do it with McDavid isn't fair just because has he really had that opportunity?
There was a stretch a couple years ago when McDavid was injured. Draisaitl went on an absolute tear. Yes, obviously tons of his points come from McDavid, but like let's just not forget how unbelievable.
But
But again, like I have him at 6th on the list. I'm not saying he like I have him as an incredible player. I'm just saying when you're differentiating between the top 5 players in the league, it matters to me that one of these guys has done it with totally different casts, without playing with the best player in the world. Like, how many points do you think Matthew Tkachuk has in a season if he plays on Connor McDavid's wing on Connor McDavid's power play?
I don't know. Good question, and it's a good point. I don't know though.
This conversation too is also about like what you value more in a player as well. Because like with Matthew specifically,
I value
like,
you
value Rat more, but then Matthew's talking about him. It's like you value the complete game, the defensive game of him, where the impact that he has on that end, it's not going to come up in stats necessarily as far as counting stats goes, but you can just see it in a game how difficult it is to play against him, and the fact that he's a 40+ goal scorer, one of the best goal scorers in the league, that also can be the shutdown guy and tasked with shutting down some of the top lines in hockey and the top players in hockey. It's like, how many guys in the league can do that? Because you know McDavid's not doing that. You know that McKinnon's not doing that. You know Draisaitl's not doing that.
Yeah, well, also, I'd just like to say that one of them like really shows up in the playoffs, and one of them was held pointless in their second round series.
I don't think that's true.
There are so many hypotheticals. It's like, it's true. It's like if Tkachuk plays on a line with McDavid, how many points does he get? But you could also say like if Draisaitl goes to another team with like some decent skill at the top 2, I still think Draisaitl's going to have a massive year.
Do we want to talk anyone else in the top 5 or
I want to talk
You want to talk McKinnon and Makar, I guess.
Those are the other guys.
Yes,
Those are the
yes,
other
those
guys.
are the two that we haven't.
Because I know we had some variance with Makar, I guess.
Yeah,
You
Makar I
him at
had 5, but that's just because like defenseman
Yeah.
versus
No, it's fair.
franchise
I-
center. And like
He's incredible.
McKinnon, you had at 2. You're the highest on McKinnon, which
And
like,
Jesse
I
too.
had
We
him
had the
too
same
as well.
top.
oh okay, yeah, he's unbelievable.
I think the playoffs thing is probably the main argument for McKinnon over Matthews in my mind. Like why I wouldn't have swapped them. He's dominated in the playoffs.
I just like love McKinnon's speed, combination of his
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
He just drives offense. He skates like the wind with the puck. And when I look at like who I think is actually a better hockey player, I take McKinnon over Matthews 10 out of 10.
All right, well, why don't we talk about people who haven't made it? Ovi.
Ovi, obviously, I think we all felt kind of comfortable just like leaving him out. He's amazing, but like at this point,
He'll
maybe
hang
he's
on
not
to this
top
spot
25.
and bang in some goals.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably good for 40 plus this year.
Stone.
Yeah, Vegas was tough because it's like Eichel was dominant in the playoffs and like Stone's a really good player, but I just think everyone else that's on the list, better point producers, you just think
Yeah.
of them having more upside than those guys. And not that Eichel can't. Like I feel like Eichel might make us look silly, and I don't disagree with the pick of having him on there, Jesse.
Obviously, Heiskin, I probably could have thrown in here somewhere. Like if I didn't do Bedard, I'd probably do like a Heiskin. You know, I just wanted to make things spicy. Maybe just because I love the guy so much, but like I just feel like Anze Kopitar doesn't get enough respect.
Box office.
And I feel like every year he's so damn good in the playoffs. He's always such a performer. He's the leader of that team. Really don't think he's slowing down at all. He's one of the best defensive centers in the league. I struggled. I tried to fit him in my top 25. It was hard to keep him off this list.
And goalies, Saros. He's the one that I kind of
yeah.
struggled with. Now that we've heard each other's lists and argued a little bit, who's the guy that you just look at your own list and I'm like, damn, I messed that up. Because Jason Robertson is it for me.
I'd agree that
For
Jason
mine-
Robertson is it for you.
Yeah, Jason Robertson at 16 is a little nuts. But I think I could have swapped him and Crosby. I think I could have put Crosby at 16.
Maybe Barkov at 17 is a little high. He's always good defensively.
Yeah.
And like I think
I don't
that's
hate
something-
it. Like
that's not-
I like him.
it's something that people don't really take into account as much.
I shouldn't have included goalies. That was a great decision by you.
What a coward.
I put him so high.
He
God
did
damn.
finish him.
So,
But
yeah.
so this is one of the first season preview videos that we're gonna have. We're gonna be ranking every team, talking about them from 32 all the way to number 1. Keep up with that. We're gonna try to do more podcasts this year. This is a tough list, and again, it's like an elite
tough.
list. It's the top 25 players. If someone didn't make it, it's not because they're not good.
I would have tossed Hedman like maybe off the list. I would have
man.
honestly maybe tossed Hedman off the list.
Say what you want, but if it comes
we'll be here
down
for
to like
2
a playoff
hours.
series, who would I rather have in a playoff series?